Alex had never seen anything like Varelia. The planet's surface was jagged and harsh, with jagged cliffs that rose like the teeth of some giant beast and winds that howled across the plains. Even the sky seemed different here, a soft green hue streaked with orange clouds, giving the day an eerie, beautiful light. He adjusted his helmet and scanned the horizon. The ruins of an ancient alien city lay ahead, half buried in stone and dust. Alex's heart beat faster, not with fear, but with excitement. As a human engineer, he had been trained for emergencies. But nothing in his training prepared him for discovering the secrets of an alien
civilization.
Alex's crew was busy setting up their temporary base near the ruins. They had been sent here to study energy readings that had baffled their scientific team. Back on Earth, the readings came from a particular section of the ruins that had been inaccessible for decades, and some of the signals seemed almost alive. The crew worked quickly, their voices carrying over the wind in low, professional tones. Alex, as usual, stayed focused on his own task, scanning for energy fluctuations and mapping the ruins' structural integrity. He walked carefully among the broken pillars, his scanner humming softly. The ruins were older than anyone could estimate. Millions of years old, but the energy readings suggested that something inside still worked. Alex crouched near a collapsed archway and adjusted his scanner. A sudden spike made the device beep wildly. His eyes widened. Something was moving inside the structure. Something alive, or at least reactive. Alex called out to the team. "Hey, I've got a reading." Could be a hidden chamber? His voice was carried away by the wind, but the crew heard him. 2 of them came over, curious, but the rest stayed behind to secure the base. Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. He had always loved moments like this, when discovery and danger danced together as he stepped into the archway. But the ground beneath him trembled. The scanner glowed brighter, and a section of the wall slid open silently, revealing a hidden chamber. Alex's breath caught in his throat. The room was filled with faint glowing symbols that seemed to float in the air. And then he saw her. A figure stepped out of a shimmering portal in the center of the room. She was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. Her skin had a soft, silvery glow, and her eyes were large and luminous, reflecting colors he couldn't name. Her hair floated slightly as if she were underwater, and her movements were precise, careful, and elegant. Alex froze, unsure whether to step forward or retreat. The alien woman looked at him with curiosity and caution. Her gaze was intense, and Alex felt a strange pull toward her, a feeling of recognition and awe he could not explain. For a moment, they simply stared at each other. He wanted to speak, but his voice seemed to fail him. Finally, he found his words. I'm Alex. I'm human." He held out a hand in a universal gesture of peace. The alien tilted her head, studying him. She did not speak, at least not in words Alex could understand. Instead, a small wave of energy pulsed from her chest, almost like a heartbeat, and he felt a warmth spread through him. Alex's curiosity outweighed his fear. "Are you alone?" he asked softly. She nodded slightly, her eyes never leaving his. He realized she could sense his intent, his thoughts, even in a way he could not explain. "Come on," he said gently. "You can trust me. I won't hurt you." The alien hesitated for a moment, then stepped fully into the chamber. Alex guided her carefully out of the ruins toward the base. His crew was watching, their expressions a mixture of astonishment and caution. "What is that?" one of the crew members whispered. Alex shook his head. "We don't know yet, but she doesn't seem dangerous. She's intelligent." The alien, whom Alex decided to call Lyra, was cautious but curious. Alex showed her around the base, explaining basic technology and simple tools. Lyra responded with subtle gestures, touching objects and making small energy pulses that illuminated her understanding. She seemed fascinated by simple machines and the way humans built things. Alex realized quickly that she was not just intelligent, she was brilliant. Over the next few hours, Alex and Lyra explored the energy readings together. She showed him a strange ability. She could sense unstable energy and manipulate it slightly, a gift her species must have developed over thousands of years. Alex was careful to observe and learn, amazed by her precision. "You're incredible," he said. I've never seen anything like this." She simply nodded, almost shyly, as if she were unused to praise. As night fell over Varelia, the temperature dropped sharply. Alex guided Lyra to one of the quarters prepared for him. She had never experienced the cold of this planet's nights, and Alex noticed her body starting to shimmer faintly with stress. "It's cold," he said gently. "You can stay here." Lyra hesitated, but then stepped inside. She seemed exhausted from the journey and the energy she had spent. Alex made sure she was comfortable. He sat beside her as she observed the simple human bed. There was a tension in the air, a quiet understanding growing between them. Suddenly, a base alarm went off, a surge from the alien ruins. The energy readings spiked dangerously, and the lights flickered. Alex grabbed his communicator. "We have a surge. Everyone stay alert." Lyra stiffened beside him. The pulse of energy was growing stronger, resonating with her presence. Alex realized that if the energy hit her directly, it could be dangerous. He moved closer, instinctively putting himself between her and the glowing portal in the room. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes, and without warning, she reached out and pulled him toward the bed. "Mine," she whispered. The word startled Alex, but there was no anger or threat in it. It was protective, possessive in the sense of caring, of wanting to keep him safe. Alex nodded, understanding immediately. "Okay, I've got you," he said, keeping his voice calm. He wrapped an arm around her, holding her close as the energy pulses shook the room. Lyra did not let go, pressing herself against him, and Alex could feel the warmth and intensity of her being. For the first time, he realized the depth of their connection. This was more than simple cooperation. It was trust, understanding, and reliance across species. The energy surge lasted only moments. But in those moments, the bond between them solidified. Lyra's glow dimmed as the pulse stabilized, and she relaxed slightly against him. Alex's own heart raced, but not from fear. He felt something he had never experienced before, profound connection to someone completely different from himself. Someone whose life and mind were alien, yet whose trust in him was absolute. As the night settled, Alex and Lyra stayed close. The storm outside raged, but inside the base, they found a strange calm. Alex realized that Lyra's presence had changed everything. She was no longer just an alien curiosity or a scientific anomaly. She was someone he wanted to protect. Someone whose safety mattered above all else. And for Lyra, Alex represented something she had never known. A human she could trust completely. By the time the crew returned from securing the external equipment, they found Alex sitting quietly, Lyra close by. Both of them calm despite the recent danger. Alex smiled faintly. "She's okay," he told them simply. "She's with me. We're safe." The crew exchanged looks, amazed at the human-alien bond forming before their eyes. Some of them whispered that they had never seen anything like it. That humans could inspire trust, even in beings from a completely different world. Alex felt a quiet pride, but also a deep sense of responsibility. Lyra rested her head slightly against his shoulder. Alex could feel the steady rhythm of her energy pulses. She didn't speak again that night, but her presence said everything. She had chosen him as a protector, a friend, and perhaps something more profound. And Alex, in return, felt an unshakable urge to keep her safe, to learn everything about her, and to show her that humans, despite their flaws, were capable of great loyalty and courage. As the first light of Varelia's sun broke over the horizon, casting green and gold streaks across the rocky landscape, Alex and Lyra sat together by the window. There was no need for words. They had survived the night, the energy pulse, and the uncertainty of first contact. And in that quiet moment, the human and alien shared an understanding that would shape the days to come. Whatever challenges awaited them in the ruins, in the alien technology, and in the vast universe, they would face them together. And in that unity, Alex realized, lay the true power of humanity, not just strength or intelligence, but trust, courage, and the ability to form bonds that transcended worlds. The morning light on Varelia felt sharper than anywhere Alex had ever been. The cliffs and jagged rocks seemed to glow under the green-tinted sun, and the ruins stretched endlessly into the horizon. Alex woke to the faint hum of the base's energy systems. but his eyes immediately found Lyra. She was already awake, sitting near the window, her gaze fixed on the ruins below. Her glowing eyes reflected the sunlight, and she moved with the calm precision of someone aware of both danger and possibility. "Good morning," Alex said softly, careful not to disturb her focus. Lyra turned to him, her expression unreadable at first. Then a small gesture, almost like a nod, indicated acknowledgement. Alex understood that she did not speak human words yet, but he was learning that communication with her was more than verbal. It was emotional, intuitive, and deeply connected. The energy readings from the ruins were increasing. Something had awakened overnight, perhaps triggered by the human activity in the chamber. Alex and Lyra both felt it in their bones, the hum of unstable energy that pulsed like a heartbeat beneath the ground. Alex checked his scanner. The readings were spiking in waves, as though the ruins themselves were alive. "We need to investigate," Alex said. "It's too dangerous to ignore this." Lyra agreed silently, moving beside him. She had learned quickly how to navigate the human environment, and her presence gave Alex a strange confidence. He had faced dangerous missions before, but nothing had prepared him for the feeling of facing the unknown with someone whose abilities and instincts far surpassed his own, yet who trusted him completely. They returned to the ruins. Moving carefully across broken walkways and crumbling stones, the air shimmered with energy, and Alex felt it prickling his skin. A constant reminder that the alien technology was still active. Lyra led him to a section of the ruins he had not explored before. The portal she had emerged from yesterday seemed dormant now, but the symbols on the walls glowed faintly, indicating residual energy. Alex set up a small field device to scan the area. The readings were unusual, spiking in patterns he could not immediately decipher. Lyra touched one of the symbols with her hand. A wave of energy pulsed from the wall, and Alex felt his body respond instinctively, almost as if the energy recognized him as an ally. Lyra's eyes met his, and for a moment they shared a silent understanding. They were working together, combining human ingenuity and alien perception to stabilize the unstable energy. Suddenly the ground shook violently. Stones tumbled around them, and Alex grabbed Lyra instinctively. She did not resist. She allowed him to hold her as they both crouched to avoid falling debris. The energy was surging in ways neither of them fully understood. Alex realized that the portal might reactivate at any moment, and if it did, it could be unpredictable. "We need to redirect it," Alex shouted over the rumble. "I think we can use the energy nodes to channel it." Lyra tilted her head, and a small pulse of light shot from her hand, connecting with the wall symbols. The energy responded, moving along controlled pathways Alex had set up. It was dangerous work. Every step required precise timing, and every decision could lead to disaster. But they moved in perfect synchrony. Alex adjusted the nodes, and Lyra manipulated the energy pulses, guiding them safely away from unstable areas. Sweat poured down his face, but his focus never wavered. He knew that Lyra trusted him to make the right choices, and he refused to let her down. After what felt like hours, the energy finally stabilized. The hum lessened, and the ruins grew quiet once more. Alex exhaled deeply, looking at Lyra. She was glowing faintly. Her energy still high from the effort, but her eyes held a calm satisfaction. Alex felt a surge of pride, not for himself, but for what they had accomplished together. "You did it," he said softly. Lyra looked at him, and for the first time, she extended her hand fully. He took it, feeling her warmth and strength. There was no need for words. In that touch, they communicated relief, trust, and a bond that went beyond species or language. Back at the base, the crew was waiting. They had monitored the energy from afar, their faces showing awe and disbelief. "We thought it would destroy the base," one of them said. "But somehow, you stabilized it." Alex smiled faintly. "It wasn't just me," he said. "We did it together." He gestured to Lyra. She helped more than anyone could imagine. The crew approached cautiously, still unsure how to interact with Lyra. Alex explained as best he could. "Lyra is from an advanced species that understood energy in ways we're only beginning to comprehend. She came through the portal yesterday, and since then, "We've been learning from each other," Lyra observed the humans quietly, her glowing eyes moving over each face, analyzing and understanding. That evening, Alex and Lyra returned to the quarters. The events of the day had left them both tired, but they felt a shared sense of accomplishment. Lyra moved toward the bed and without hesitation pulled Alex close again. "Mine," she whispered softly. The word had become familiar now, no longer startling. Alex understood it as a declaration of trust and connection, not ownership in a possessive way, but in a way that spoke of loyalty, protection, and partnership. "I'm yours," he replied quietly, understanding her meaning fully, not in a physical sense, but in the sense that he would protect her, stand by her, and continue to learn from her as they faced whatever the ruins and the universe had in store. The next days were a mixture of research and exploration. Alex and Lyra became an inseparable team. She guided him through the alien devices and energy nodes, and he taught her the principles of human engineering. They discovered chambers filled with dormant machines, halls with inscriptions that detailed the history of her species, corridors that pulsed faintly with energy. Every discovery brought them closer together, not through romance, but through shared experiences and mutual respect. One afternoon, while exploring a particularly large chamber, they encountered a challenge unlike any before. A massive energy conduit ran through the room, unstable and unpredictable. Alex could see the readings spike dangerously on his scanner. "This could collapse the chamber," he said urgently. Lyra nodded, her eyes glowing with focus. Together, they devised a plan. Alex would stabilize the structural nodes, while Lyra channeled the energy safely through the conduit. It was dangerous. Every mistake could be catastrophic. As they worked, stones cracked and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Alex felt the energy pulse against his body, a sensation unlike any he had experienced. Lyra's calm presence beside him grounded him, and he realized that their bond was as much about trust and courage as it was about intelligence. After hours of careful work, the energy finally stabilized. The chamber was quiet, the threat dissipated. Alex slumped against the wall, exhausted but exhilarated. Lyra touched his shoulder, and he felt a warmth spread through him. They had done it. Together, they had mastered something neither could have handled alone. That night, Alex and Lyra sat by the window, looking out over the ruins. Lyra rested her head against his shoulder, a gesture of trust and comfort. Alex felt a sense of awe. In a universe full of unknowns, he had found a connection that transcended species. Lyra had chosen him, and he had chosen her. Not in a romantic sense, but in a bond forged through trust, courage, and shared experience. The crew respected their partnership, recognizing that humans could inspire loyalty and trust, even in beings from distant worlds. Alex felt proud, not for himself, but for humanity. Their ability to adapt, to form bonds, and to face danger with courage was what made them extraordinary. As the sun set over Veralia, casting long shadows across the jagged landscape, Alex and Lyra remained together, watching the ruins and planning their next exploration. The portal might reactivate at any moment, new challenges might arise, but they were ready. Together, they had proven that humans could be more than explorers. They could be allies, protectors, and friends across the galaxy. Lyra's hand found his again. "Mine," she whispered softly. Alex smiled, holding her hand firmly. "And I'm yours," he said. In that moment, they understood each other completely. Not through words, but through trust, courage, and an unbreakable bond. Whatever the future held, ancient technology, unknown dangers, or distant worlds, they would face it side by side. And in that partnership lay the true spirit of humanity, brave, resourceful, and capable of forming connections that could change the universe itself. For Alex, Veralia had become more than a planet of ruins. It had become a place of discovery, trust, and extraordinary friendship. And as long as he had Lyra by his side, he knew they could face anything. Together, they were unstoppable, bound by courage, loyalty, and the kind of trust that only humans could inspire in an alien heart. The night fell quietly over the base, the stars above twinkling faintly through the green-tinted sky. Alex and Lyra remained awake for a while, silently watching, learning, and sharing a bond that no words could capture. Tomorrow, they would explore more ruins, face more challenges, and uncover more secrets. But for now, they were together, and that was enough.